sweet green smell of freshly cut grass, ready for hordes of high school girls to trample it. "We go way back," Ron says, in his characteristic way of understating things. What they don't say is that 22 years ago, Jennifer sat in a jailhouse just 5 miles down the interstate, looked at 7 black men standing in front of her, and picked Ronald Cotton as the man who had brutally raped her 11 days before. Part 1. Jennifer. Chapter 1. I used to walk 3 miles to campus and back every day from my apartment in Burlington. There weren't any sidewalks on West Front Street, so during the summer I hugged the edge of the road, trying to stay in the patches of shade when the magnolia trees provided them. I didn't know many people in my neighborhood, although I passed their houses and proud lawns every day. I don't know if I ever even noticed the brick home with white trim just beyond my apartment complex, but on the night that I ran through the damp grass, wearing only a blanket, it was that door I pounded on. On my way to school, my head was always buried in index cards. I had stacks and stacks of them, careful notes, all hole-punched and ring-bound, a different ring for every class. Just across from campus was a Hardee's, where I'd stop and get a coffee, then sit outside and keep studying. I didn't look over my shoulder or pay too much attention. My focus was on what lay ahead. I was going to graduate in the fall with a perfect 4.0, and my boyfriend Paul and I were talking about getting married. He was in his first year of business school at UNC Chapel Hill. That's all my life was really about, college and my boyfriend. I was 22 years old, and those were the kind of crystal-clear pictures I carried in my mind. One night, coming home in the dark, it must have been the beginning of July, I noticed a small orange glow as I was walking up to my door. It was just a pinprick of light cutting through the branches. The dry burn caught in the back of my throat. In the tree across from my bedroom window, someone was smoking a cigarette. I couldn't see who it was, but someone was there. I told myself it must be a kid, someone who had climbed up the tree to sneak a smoke. I gave it no further thought. But that's the picture that flashed in my mind afterward, a snapshot uncovered by my brain as it was reeling for answers to what happened later that month, July 1984. Burlington, North Carolina is like most college towns. It swells during the school year with kids from Elon College and contracts during the summer, when many of them return to their hometowns, to their parents, to the summer jobs they've had since they were in high school. I'd decided to stay that summer because I was taking classes and because Paul was from Burlington and would be home for the summer break from his classes in Chapel Hill. His parents ran a barbecue place in downtown, or what was left of it. Already the little mom-and-pop stores were emptying out or moving closer to the newly built mall near Huffman Mill Road, right off of I-40. But people still came to JJ's barbecue no matter what. They came for the vinegared pork and sweet tea that were as much a part of the Burlington summer as the humidity. Most days I taught aerobics at Spa Lady, and on Saturdays, when I finished teaching, I would stay to lift some weights and put in a few hours at the sales desk. That Saturday was no different. When I got off, Paul and I spent the afternoon together, browsing at a shopping mall and eating lunch nearby until the heat finally got to us. We ended up back at my apartment, napping in the comfort of the air conditioning. In the early evening, it cooled off enough for us to play tennis at the Alamance County Country Club, where he and his family were members. We were famished when we finished our showers, so we headed over to China Inn Restaurant, a favorite of ours. It was one of those all-you-can-eat deals, and I loaded up on fried rice, spring rolls, and refill after refill of sweet iced tea. I'm sure all the MSG had something to do with it. By the time we got to his friend's party, a fierce headache was blooming behind my eyes. We didn't stay very long. Back at my apartment, we turned up the AC unit in the den full blast. Paul came into my room carrying a glass of water and some aspirin. I fell asleep to his rubbing my back. The police report would later indicate that he slipped out around 11 p.m., taking care not to wake me.